Cristiano was really starting to go to another level, and Wayne said, well, I was just happy. Was he playing in the game where you scored 4 goals?
No.
He wasn't?
I don't think so, no. He was not there.
No, because I'm sure
maybe
you
wouldn't
give him a wink that night.
No, I wouldn't.
What kind of player is Wayne Rooney?
I think he's the perfect partner for a striker. So as myself, as a striker, I would like to play with a player like Wayne Rooney, because I always said he's the perfect partner, because he's not ego, he's a team player. He runs a lot, he fights a lot, he sacrifices a lot, he scores goals, he makes beautiful assists. He's the complete partner. So I didn't have the luck to play with him, and he would be the how do you say, the ideal partner for a striker. So whoever played with Rooney, he has to be very happy and lucky, because for sure he made them much better than what they were.
When we did an interview with him a few weeks ago, and he talked about when he played with Cristiano, and Cristiano was really starting to go to another level, and Wayne said, well, I was just happy to do whatever I needed to do to help him. Do you think he's in some ways too helpful to others?
I think things he does, he don't get really credit he deserves to get, because, I mean, another player is Paul Scholes. Everybody was talking about all the other stars, but less about Paul Scholes. But for me, the big United, when it was the big United, was Paul Scholes. He was the main player, and same thing with Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney, for me, when he played with Cristiano, all the work was done by Wayne Rooney. But he didn't get the credit that Ronaldo got, because Ronaldo was scoring all the amazing goals, a lot of goals, and so on. So I think he did what he needed to do, and he's still doing it. Wayne Rooney, he's too helpful, good. He doesn't think about himself only. He thinks about the team. He wants to win. He does everything to win. So he has done a fantastic job. He had a fantastic career so far, and being himself and playing the way he does is because of that. So no, I think opposite. He did good.
In some, it's strange, but in England, there's an attitude with some people that say that Wayne Rooney can't be considered a great player for England because he hasn't won a major tournament. There's that kind of English arrogance there about that kind of thing.
I think when it comes to winning trophies, it's not about one player. I mean, if we would play tennis, yes, it's an individual sport, but now we play a collective sport, so it's not about Wayne Rooney only. He has a big responsibility, yes. He has a big major in the party, yes, but it's not only him that decides the tournament and to win the trophies, let's say. So, but for me, he's a great player, no doubts. I mean, if I look back to English players, for me, the one I will remember, it's Wayne Rooney and David Beckham. And then you have some others, but these are my main targets I would think about when I think about it.
Do you know many of the other England teams?
I know many players. I mean, I think the Premier League is pretty hyped, so they get big publicity international. So, I mean, you have Steven Gerrard, you have Lampard, you have, if we go back, Gary Lineker, Paul Gascoigne. They're big players from the past.
Now, you've been at the pinnacle of the international game and the global game for a long time, and your career's similar duration to Wayne. How difficult is it to maintain for that long at the top?
I think it's difficult. I think big players, these great players, they have their moments, and when I say they have their moments, it's while in 1 to 3 years, but to continue for 5 years, for 10 years, like Wayne Rooney has done it, it's not easy. It's pressure every day, playing for big team every day. People are satisfied today, but tomorrow they want something else. They want even more. And I think, I don't know him personally, but I think he's more or less like me. He's never satisfied. He always wants more. When he has done something good, he always wants to do more the game after. So, And playing for Manchester United, yeah, I think it's a big pressure. So it's not an easy job. Then outside also, you need to be professional doing your job there because you have eyes on you 24 hours. So and I don't think people really understand that because they always ask something from the football player, but they don't understand really the situation, how it is, and how big sacrifice it is behind everything. So it's a big pressure.
And what about growing up in public? You know, for a player burst on the scene, for example. Wayne Rooney burst on the scene in 2004. He was 18, 19. But is it easy when you start your career and then suddenly you're like, okay, now I've got to mature and
I think you do mistakes. I mean, I did a lot of mistakes. I will still do mistakes and I will learn from my mistakes because nobody's perfect. And it doesn't exist, the word perfect today. And for sure, Wayne Rooney did his mistakes. And I think the situation in England is also when somebody is an upcoming star. I mean, they look for him, they wait for him to do something. Whatever it is becomes hyped big, and he was in in that picture. So, but I think he handled it good. He has become mature, but that is nothing you choose. That is something you become automatically by the age, by the experience, and he became the one he was supposed to become. So not easy because of the focus, the hype he has have around him, but he has handled it good. I like the way he has done his things because he's a little bit like me, like a bad boy. I like that image.
And he's like you in that he's a world-class player playing for a team that might not be full of world-class players at international level, I think. Is that fair to say?
I mean, he still plays in Manchester United. I mean, every team has his moments. And United had their moments looking for new challenges, looking for new players to get to the big stage, let's say. And as long as he is in Manchester United, he will always be challenging the big trophies, to play for the big trophies. So, but every team have their moments, absolutely.
What's it like to be the highest goal scorer for your country? Just explain that to us.
I think it's amazing because I was chasing it for 1-2 years, and when I broke it, I mean, it's amazing to have your name on the top of the list. And I mean, the Swedish record was 80 years old. Was for a long time nobody has beat the record, and many big players have been playing in the national team. You have Henrik Larsson, and you have other big strikers also that didn't succeed. And then I come from nowhere and I broke the record, and feels amazing. While it happens, to play for your country, it's a big honor. To be the captain for your country, even bigger. But to break the record as a striker, I mean, it's amazing, these three combinations. And Wayne Rooney has the possibility. He will break it for sure. But I think you really realize what you have done after your career. Because while you're active, you're still looking for new challenges, for new objectives to break or to take. So, but it's amazing. It's a big thing.
The English record stood 45 years.
So now it's time to break it, and the man will be Wayne Rooney. So I don't know his story 100%, but for sure in the beginning people were complaining, and this same thing with me. He's not that. Always something to say, but now he's in the zone to break the record. Now I want to hear what people says when he breaks it. That not many have imagined, but he will do it. So same thing with me. Feels amazing.
So is he a player and someone who's had a career, someone who you really identify with? There's many parallels between the two of you.
I think every player has his own story. I think you cannot compare player's quality with another one, because every player has his own quality. But I think you can compare with the statistic, the trophies you win, yes. And I think when Rooney had a fantastic career, he won big trophies, a lot of trophies, scored a lot of goals, did a lot of assists in the field, and for sure he made other players bigger, better. So, I mean, I didn't know what his goal was when he started to play, but for sure he achieved every goal he wanted to achieve. So, but comparing individual players with another ones, I think it's difficult. You don't do that because every player has his own story.
Have you ever met Wayne? Have you?
I played against him, and for me, I prefer to have him in my team than playing against him. So, but I didn't had that luck, and I mean, I enjoy seeing him on the pitch when he's playing. So, if I cannot play with him, I will watch him like I'm doing.
Was he playing in the game where you scored 4 goals?
No,
He wasn't.
I don't think so. No, he was not there.
No, because I'm sure
Maybe
you
it wouldn't.
a wink that night.
No, wouldn't it? I don't know if it would happen if he would play.
And have you ever met doing advert work or commercial work? Or anything?
No, we haven't been in the same place for the same work, let's say.
Because what would 2 iconic players, like who are the icons in their respective countries, if they were to just sit down over a beer, what would you talk about?
I don't know him personally, but I think for sure we wouldn't be talking about football. That's the first rule, because you play football every day, you think football every day, and for sure you wouldn't have talked about that. I think about all other things. I don't know his interest, but for sure there's many things to talk about, especially when you get 1 or 2 beers. Then the imagination becomes even better.
Because fundamentally, great players, iconic players, they're human beings at the end of the day, aren't they? You know.
I hope so.
And one of the key things for me is having met Wayne is that he's very down to earth guy who just loves playing football, and that's it.
Okay.
There's a have you heard the term street footballer? David Moyes said he's the last street footballer in England.
Okay.
Meaning, like yourself, not out of a packet, you know.
Okay.
Do you understand the idea?
Yeah, he lives for football. He does everything for football. He is football. Yeah, like I said, I don't know him personally, but for me, he was born to play football. He is that player. He is not made or something like that. Training product, how do you say? For me, he is the football, so no question about it. You just see him play. Because I think the way people, when they look football, they make a certain judgment. But football players, when they see another football player, they have their own vision and they think differently from the people that is on the side, that hasn't really played football. So for me, he is a talent. He was born to play football, absolutely. You can see it. He's a typical player. He can be without football a couple of years. When he comes back, you will see that he belongs to the football. So he is that kind of player.
Great.
And not many players are in that zone.
Very last question. There are many people, I've kind of covered this already, but there are some people in England who say he hasn't actually fulfilled his talent. Does that make any sense to you whatsoever?
I think there will always be people complaining. I mean, same thing with me. People, whatever you do, they will be happy and not happy. Because when you're number 1, people try to get you down from number 1 spot. And for me, Wayne Rooney is the number 1. And people will always complain. They will always have something to say because you're the number 1. So he did everything he was supposed to do and even more. So Wayne Rooney has a strong personality, and he should only look in his in the mirror and say, "I did what I could do." So and from us that are professional football players, we can say that because we see it. So whoever says something, they're mistaking. So, but it will be even more exciting when he beat this record. So that's another history.